Um, so if you guys can turn on your videos and if you're fully clothed up top, we want to see you. Um, but just because tonight is going to be interactive, which I am so excited about. If you can't be on or whatever, that's okay. And if you can just hop on and answer questions or whatever, we'll take any kind of participation. But I am so excited for tonight. So I met Lilene. It's been, I think, about 9 years now. And I literally met her once, and then we've just crossed paths several different times from there. And it's just a really big honor. Every time I talk with her, those friends where you call them up on the phone and then it's like, oh yeah, no time has passed, and you just click and you can just chat. Like I think we chatted the other day for like a good 5 minutes or an hour, and it was like, oh, like it's time to go now. So she has such a big heart, and she has really delved into mental wellness. And what I love about that, William, is you talking about, you know, there was a flip in psychology and stuff a little while ago where we stopped talking about just pulling people out of lots of negative, but really helping people thrive too. And as you were describing some of the things that you were going to talk about tonight, I was like, yes, those are thrive kind of things that we do. So I am excited for tonight, and I'm going to turn the time over to Lilene, and she'll probably give us a little bit more background in her bio and stuff. But thank you, everyone, for being on. We're excited for tonight.
Well, thank you everyone for joining. It's really an honor to get to talk to everyone tonight. I appreciate your attendance. So I'm Walene, and like Brittany says, we met probably like around 2015 because I remember I was recovering from my reconstructive shoulder surgery from my skiing accident. So that's why it stands vividly in my mind because you introduced me to Deep Blue, which changed my life and changed everyone's life around me. So that's always going to be like a huge standout when we talk about how we met. But anyway, so it's the season where sometimes we kind of, feel blue. And especially for me who lives in New York, it's very dark. It's like dark at 4 o'clock. It's very cold. Although we've had a pretty mild winter, today was actually pretty rigid, pretty cold, pretty rigid because we have a snowstorm coming. So for me, the reason that I kind of delved into mental health was because I developed Hashimoto's, a hypothyroid condition. And when I had my partial surgery, it threw my hormones in my body completely out of sorts. And I was like highs and lows and highs and lows, and I couldn't figure out what was going on an emotional level. So it completely either put me in anxiety or depression. And because I'm not a big pharma person, and even though my family are all part of science at some capacity, the doctors in my family didn't prescribe pills, at least within the family. It was more like, if I give you this pill, it'll fix this problem. However, it'll give you this problem. So we kind of grew up holistically and what that was back then. And, with my parents saying, no, if I had a cold, they'd keep us home, give us freshly squeezed orange juice, give us tea or whatever. And then we would, stay home for a few days and go back to school. So I kind of grew up in that realm. So it was very familiar to me anyway to use natural oils. Like peppermint oil is something that we have in the Caribbean. If you have a tummy ache, they put a little drop in water. So all of these things kind of came full circle when I opened a yoga studio and was actually introduced to another oil company. And then I met Brittany and switched over to doTERRA. And so that's kind of how my struggle started. It was, how do I help myself without going to the doctor and without having he or she tell me how they could put me in antidepressants and not fall into that rabbit hole, I guess I would call it. So I started playing around. I started playing with supplements. I started figuring out if I was taking for something for my adrenal, would that help my mood? If I was taking ashwagandha. So I really just started playing holistically, got a Chinese medicine doctor, started learning about Chinese medicine and supplementing that with my oils. So my go-to, for example, if I have anxiety, is my lavender or my serenity. That automatically basically gets me centered. I'll put it on before I meditate, and that'll calm my nerves down and I'll get kind of redirect my energy. And another one that I love to use is balance. I always have balance underneath my feet because if I feel like if I'm balanced, everything else will kind of come together. So this all came together with just play. We call it play. Just trying to figure out what makes me feel good, what makes me feel the best, what does my body acclimate to. And as we know, the body is like a little computer. So I play with different things. So sometimes I'll use peace. If it's a mood enhancer, I'll use cheer or go to one of the fruity ones like grapefruit or orange. So it's all about how your body reacts and what you're looking to ascertain from whatever you decide to use to heal. So with that said, as opposed to me like lecturing, I'd love for you guys to ask me questions in regards to maybe something that is affecting you directly or indirectly, or maybe like your mom, your friend, your neighbor. And that way I can answer it and it'll be a little bit more broad.
Okay, so, and if you have questions, you can either unmute or you feel free to put it in the chat. So I will start out, Lillian. I noticed that in the summertime, it's really easy for me to be like, I naturally feel very positive and happy and like life is amazing. And winter comes and I definitely struggle with like seasonal affective disorder. But I think a big part of that, I am trying to work on my thoughts that come around with that. So it's like, it's so easy for me to go negative in the wintertime. And I really don't have to think about trying to be positive the rest of the year. That's like super natural for me. And so I feel like I need to develop this muscle a little bit more, if you will, around that.
Okay, so for sure, meditation helps in the winter. You know, it has everything to do with the way that the orbit is spinning. So the time's changing, it's darker earlier, we have less vitamin D, at least up north we do. So all of that affects how the body and the system and your endocrine system functions. So why do they say go stand in the sun at 12 o'clock, which I do a lot. I go, I'll go stand and let the sun hit my face. It rejuvenates and revitalizes the body. And another thing is checking your vitamin D. If you're vitamin D deficient, like I have been for the majority of my adult life, that's a huge problem. It adds to the seasonal depression and to regular depression. It gives you joint pain and body ache and mood swings. It's so important to have like high functioning vitamin D. What I take, and I take a vitamin D2, number 2, because it's a plant-based and it is a prescription because I need so much. So I take 50 IUs of vitamin D2, which is plant-based, so it's vegan, and I take it once a week every Tuesday. So that also is helpful. So you want to check your vitamin D. If you're not taking a vitamin D supplement, you want to maybe add that to your repertoire and see if that will change the effects of your mood. And if you're not vegan and you're totally fine, you can take vitamin D3. D3 is plant-based. So after I had COVID, I actually took vitamin D3 because I felt like my body really needed protein. I was like craving meat, and I'm not really a meat eater. So, and if you're comfortable with that, you can do D3. I keep them both in the house, but if I'm doing well and I'm not sick and everything's normal and functioning pretty comfortably, then I will take my D2 regularly. But if I have like a cold or I'm recovering for something, then I'll take D3 because I feel like the D3 has the protein kick, and sometimes your body needs the protein. So you want to play with that. But I would start with like maybe a 2-minute to 5-minute meditation if you're familiar, of your choice, something simple. I wouldn't do more than 2 to 5 minutes if you're a beginner, because it really takes a lot and a mindset to be able to get your mind to really quiet itself. And it takes even a little bit longer to get accustomed to getting your mind to really, really clear itself. So it's a process that you work on slowly and progressively in order to feel comfortable going deeper and going longer. So I always say start small, shorter, and then you can add on as you feel more comfortable. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I definitely learned about the vitamin D's. Like, I'm like, oh, I wonder what kind I have. I don't know. I
Yeah,
like,
but you can play with it. That's the whole thing. Vitamin D can't harm you, so you can play with it. Maybe take a month of vitamin D2 and try it and see if it works best. If not, you can take a month of vitamin D3 and then you can play with it or alternate them.
yeah. Okay, so here's one thing that just came up in the chat. They said they have a death in the family. And so maybe some strategies to work through like grief and
So
um,
grief and loss is always difficult. It's difficult whether you're anticipating it because there's been illness for a long time or whether it's sudden. It's sudden. So that's always the whole process because once the person transitions, we're left behind to mourn that loss. Um, so I would honestly start the day for anybody who's mourning loss with our citrusy oils. Something like I would say probably motivate, cheer, any of the citrusy ones, just to get like a boost. I would probably start that at my wrist. I would probably start that underneath my feet, just to get like a boost, like a little bit of a motivation to feel less of because you feel kind of like empty and you feel a little bit sadness. So the citrusy, as you know, if you diffuse lemon or grapefruit or citrus bliss or tangerine, something about it uplifts the mood, uplifts your mood. Anything citrusy. So if I'm feeling and I need a boost, I'll take citrus bliss and just go straight up here and quickly get a whiff and then rub it. And if I don't have time for that and I just need something quickly because I have a call or a client or something, I'll do that or I'll keep it or I'll diffuse it. But that always, for whatever the reason, I don't remember what it is, but something about the citrusy oils give a boost to your body that it's something. Is it what is it called again? It's not the endocrine system. It's something about it's in your brain. It triggers something in the brain that makes you.
Limbic.
Thank you. Thank you. I can remember the name. So it triggers happy thoughts, happiness, all of a sudden makes you feel a little more cheerful. So if you're looking for something to just kind of get you up and going, I would stick to citrusy, warm scents because that's helpful. And I would use a meditation. There's a meditation that's wonderful that's by Wayne Dyer. It's Wayne Dyer, Dyer, and it's the I am meditation. So that's a great meditation. There's a 20-minute and there's a very long one, like an hour plus one. But within the 20 minutes, if you can start by doing maybe a few minutes of that because it's just saying how you have God within, God is within. So we are all part of source. So, or the higher powers within, whatever it is that you believe in. So he really delves into that to show you that you have it within you to continue on, move on, find the strength. And that's a great meditation to do, maybe 1 or 2 minutes in order to do. And also wherever that person is, sun, if they have sun and it's not New York, go out between 12 and 2. I literally on Mondays go to the beach after teaching a class, and whether it's freezing or not, I bundle up. I have like I made an album on Facebook. It's my Monday, soul search day. And I go sit on the beach, walk on the beach, and I just stand right in front of the sun. I just let the sun hit my face, and you have no idea what that feels like. It just feels like you're rejuvenating. And the salt water is also great. So if you have a beach and you're not in freezing cold temperature, and if you are and you can suck it up, take a walk on the beach, let the sun hit your face, even if it's for 5 minutes. It's a mood lifter. It helps with you. It helps emotionally, and it does wonders. So that's what I would suggest. Because when I'm feeling like blue, that's where I end up, in the sun on the beach, whether it's below 0 or 50.
oh, I love that. Okay, Sammy's got her hand raised, so we'll go to Sammy, and then I'm going to come back to some questions that are in the chat.
My challenge is energy. I think there's some thyroid stuff going on, so for background, but just feeling very, very, very low energy. And I can usually like push through and do something, but then I am like spent for the rest of the day.
Okay, can you give me a little bit of background? Have you just had a child, or what's going on in your
3 kids. I work from home and I homeschool, and so I'm fairly busy. I have ADHD and I don't often sleep well, which is part of it, but I really try to. That's kind of, I mean, that's literally my whole life. So I know that's like a piece of it, but I haven't always felt this like just energy deficiency. I eat really like nutrient dense foods. I don't know what would be most supportive. I know that I haven't done any blood work in a while, mostly because I haven't found a doctor to be very helpful yet.
So the first thing you need to do is find an endocrinologist.
Okay.
Once and research endocrinologists in your area. I'm not sure, where are you logging in from?
I'm with Brittany in Idaho. Hmm.
Really good endocrinologist. The endocrinologist will for sure give, for example, with my thyroid condition, so just to give you guys a little background, I no longer take Synthroid. I took Synthroid for a very short period of time, and it was giving me fatty liver. So to the point where my doctor was like, "Are you a drinker?" I'm like, I don't drink. I don't even understand where that question's coming from. He's like, "But I don't understand. Your liver is showing a lot of fat." And I'm like, "Well, it must be your pill that you're giving me because there's nothing else that I take." So what I did is I stopped taking the pill, and I would take it and put it in a bigger container. And then I stopped taking it for forever. And I was doing my natural supplement stuff. And then I told him way after that I stopped taking the supplement. So if you find a good endocrine, you can try, first they'll see on your blood work what's happening, what nutrients you may be missing, what minerals, what's happening that you need to tend to. That's number one. And number two, then you can get natural supplements that can help you with energy. Ashwagandha is one of them. If you have adrenal fatigue, you may need an adrenal supplement. So there's a lot of different things that could be happening. But one of the other most important components is the sleeping. Even if you're sleeping 4 or 5 hours, you need to get good quality beyond REM sleep. Everyone thinks REM is the top, and there's not. There's one level beyond that. So I take a supplement from Prove It. And that gives me, I'm telling you, I feel like I like age backwards 10 years when I started taking this, and it's all natural, and it goes in deep cellularly. So you have to find a supplement, and we could do a whole other class about that whole product. That's pretty incredible. And the quality of sleep, again, quality of sleep is so important. Even if you're sleeping like right now, I could wake up refreshed after 5.5 hours of sleep taking the supplement. Like literally, I'm like, okay, I get up and I'm like, okay, I'm up. Let me see if I can get 30 more minutes, and I may or may not, but I literally can go on without feeling lethargic. I used to feel lethargic. I used to feel when my adrenal was not functioning appropriately. I could feel it in my body. I could feel it, the struggle in getting through the day. I don't drink coffee, but when I was in corporate America, there was like that 2 o'clock cup of coffee that you had to have to get through the remainder of the day. Mm-hmm. And so I struggled a lot with that, and I no longer do that. And I also do my blood work every month. Every month I have a panel that I take, because I don't take the Synthroid, because I need to make sure that I'm not going into hyper to have like a heart attack, because it's like, what are the other? You got to stay right in between. So I do this whole plan of blood work so that we can test and see what's happening, if I'm okay to continue to do what I'm doing. And then we deal with it accordingly. If there's something that's a little lower, then we adjust. Okay, I may need a couple more adrenal fatigue, 2 in the morning, 2 at night, whatever it is, in order to stay in that safe space, so that
adrenal fatigue before. I probably still do. Do you have an adrenal thing that you recommend specifically?
I do take one, yes. Brittany can give you my email, or Britt, you can put my email in the chat, and you can email me, and we can do a consult so I can get more information, because I don't like to do it blindly. So we need to kind of talk what's going on. And then it would be after you got the blood work for me to really see what's going on, so that I can definitely tell you what it is that we need to be doing. It could be that you don't need the adrenal fatigue, but you need more ashwagandha for the energy. So we got to figure out what's happening first. And then I promise you, I will help you find the best avenue in order to feel better.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, hopefully I answered the question.
No, I think, and what's awesome, you guys, is when you have a question like that, I think a lot of people can relate to fatigue or feeling tired, having, I don't know anybody that hasn't had some of those like 2 o'clock, and now I feel like, I don't drink coffee either. So I'm like, I just needed a nap or whatever. But I found it so fascinating what you were saying about, I don't know what sleep supplement you take, so I wrote that down because I'm like, I'm always up for another one. But I know doTERRA recently came out with um one that they, yeah, if you want to put the sleep supplement in there, that would be awesome. If you can put it in the chat.
Okay.
Um, when doTERRA came out with theirs, I was kind of like skeptical a little bit, like, I don't know if that will help, but I was like, I'm gonna try it. I really can't believe the difference of how I feel. So I started sleeping better, and it's like what you were saying. I literally used to have to sleep at least 9 hours, and then I would take a nap, maybe two during the day. Like my kids are like, "Why do you sleep all the time?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just so exhausted. I gotta go take another nap." So it. What's funny is probably in the last 3 months, I've taken one, maybe two naps. Um, so it's just really shifted a lot, and I'm not needing to have like sleep in as much and all of that. And I just think that's pretty incredible. And I shifted that, and then I shifted some other things in my life, and it's like that's that trickle effect. That's the domino effect that you fix that one thing, and then other things can start to be helped, which I think is incredible. So, okay, one person, I think this could be like a quick answer, is just asking like, is there like a specific optimal level for vitamin D that you should have in your blood?
Okay, again, once you take the blood work, you have to get blood tested to do a blood test. The blood test will tell you what the scope is. I forget what the lowest number is, but it goes all the way up to 100. Even after being on vitamin D, 50,000 I use for once a week for years, I never go past like the 50, 55 mark. That's how deficient that I am. That's why if I can find some sunlight at any point, any time of the year, I literally take that 5 minutes and just, because I'm,
A link for something. I'm looking at it.
Oh, hold on, sorry.
once you get tested, the doctor will let you know if you need 10,000 IU, 20,000 IU, 50,000 IU. If you're anything under 50, they usually recommend 50,000 IU. And I can even actually show you because my supplements are right behind the laptop. So when I mentioned vitamin D2, the plant-based for vegan people, this is what it looks like. This is 50,000 IU. It looks like this. And that's vitamin D2. So it's plant-based for anyone that's vegan. And then I'll show you. Second. And this is vitamin D3. So it looks like this. So this one is protein based. So it's a little white capsule. They're both very small. So so they'll dictate to you once you test. They'll let you know how much you should be supplementing in order to increase your numbers. So again, it's a simple. Oh, let me write this in here in the chat. What you want to request is you want to request a full CBC and a female hormonal panel. And another thing that I forgot to mention with the fatigue, as we've had children and we're over 30, hormonal panel, is that at some point, and I don't know why this is not discussed, as you know, we are all women and we should be able to have to know these things as we're gracefully aging. Sometimes we need testosterone. When I first had my thyroid condition, my testosterone said like -0, too low to configure, because I had no testosterone in my body. My hair was thinning. It was like this whole thing. Sometimes that female panel will show you that you need a little testosterone, whether you're taking it. Zinc, chelated zinc is a natural way to boost the testosterone in your body. I learned that during COVID when I was looking for things to supplement in my body to make sure that I didn't get it or stayed away from it. So there are natural supplements that you can take to supplement the testosterone in your body that you actually decreases with age, just like men. Their testosterone sometimes decrease. The same goes for women. And we need testosterone, not as much as them, but our hair, our eyebrows, our eyelashes, the hair in our body, all of that is connected to the amount of testosterone that we have in our body. So that could be a reason. You're very, very tired. I had a client that I was working out with, she does Pilates with me. She's like, I'm exhausted. I have no sex drive. I feel depleted and defeated. And when I sent her to see my DO, it was that she had absolutely zero testosterone in her body. After the first little tiny shot that she took, she like hugged me in the next session. She's like, oh my goodness, that's all it was. I feel like a brand new person. So there's so many things that are connected with us. Again, that's why when you hit 35, your egg production starts to drop because our body makes this whole beautiful shift as to what's coming around the corner from 40 on. So that's something else. That's why I always say, please go do the female, the CBC and the female hormonal panel so we can really understand what's happening in your body as an individual. And then we can tap into that and then start you on specific supplements to hit different areas and different parts that we need to heal or, give a little boost and so you can start feeling better.
Awesome. I love it. And then one more question with vitamin D. Wow, we needed like a whole lecture on vitamin D. I love it. Is it better if we take it with vitamin K too?
Yes, the absorption of the vitamin D works best. It's absorbed into your body quicker and best with K2. Absolutely. So yes, also with the vitamin D, another supplement I could mention is magnesium. Magnesium is super important. It helps with your sleep pattern, helps with your skin. I take this, I'll be right back.
Yes, so I did the Serenity stuff with doTERRA first for sleep, and then just about a month ago, I started taking magnesium, and it's probably the kind that you're saying that you take.
Does doTERRA make one for magnesium in liquid?
No.
No. I take this one. It's liquid and it's incredible. And liquid also. So ladies and gentlemen who are on the call, when you're taking a supplement, it is so important that you take a supplement that is high quality. So I'm going to pull my doTERRA stuff. So I take this, which has now been replaced with this. So when I open this and I show you this, the of us who are all on doTERRA, you understand, we see the quality, right? So most of your vitamins need to kind of look like this, because that means that you're going to absorb all of the minerals and the nutrients that they have in this versus like the vitamin store or GNC. You're getting maybe 10%. And I'm exaggerating because it probably is less than 10%. So that's very important. Same goes with the vitamin D that I just showed you. Green, just like this, liquidy. You can see the content and the construct of what's made. So people have a hard time understanding, and I'm trying to teach my clients, quality. Because if you're going to go into a store and purchase it and spend the money, you might as well get the quality and get every ounce of what it is that your body needs. Because a lot of these vitamins in the vitamin store, you're not absorbing it. You're not absorbing it. So I like the liquid because liquid goes into your system right away. I also take a liquid vitamin C sometimes. It's potent, it's full, it's 100%, it's not super sweet, and it's better than the package. I think there's some package things some of my clients were taking. I forget the name. I don't even know what it's called. It was packaged. When I read the ingredients, I wanted to die. I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. You got to get this liquid stuff, please. So that's also very important. Stick to quality products. Because
Can you hold that up again? Can you hold the
Absolutely.
bottle up again?
It's like,
thank you.
Under $20. It's super clean. It's marine. As you can see, it's marine minerals. It's amazing. And it has calcium in it, which is great. Some K2 in it, which is great for our bones. So it's awesome.
I love it. Okay, I want to jump back up. There's another question that kind of goes into the mindfulness a little bit. So someone struggling a little bit to just like, how do they help your brain get there a little bit quicker? Like their brain wants to race when they go to meditation and that kind of stuff. I feel like, oh my gosh, we could totally have you on again and just do a little guided meditation because that would be fun. But anyway,
we can. If you guys want, we can do a quick guided meditation. That is fine with me if we have time, if time permits, and you guys are called to. It's not mandatory. But on meditation, I usually do two little tricks. You could put a fan on, something as simple as a fan, like a fan for the summer. You put a fan on and you draw your attention to the noise that the fan makes, because every fan has their own little noise that it makes as it spins, right? One. Two, if you have a ceiling fan, you put the ceiling fan on medium or high, and it does the same thing. There's a whistle, a little noise that it makes. You draw your attention to that. Another thing is, if you have, if you go on YouTube, you can do like what they call a bell meditation. There's an Abraham Hicks 60-second meditation, and it's a bell. Every 67 seconds, the bell rings. So you draw your attention to that. That's another little trick. My newest trick is, and I just learned this because I just finished doing this great manifesting program on Mind Valley, just over the weekend. I finished it, and it was, the woman said, when your mind is racing, all you say to yourself is, what is my next thought? And your mind goes blank, because your mind's like, wait, what is my next thought? And it completely calms down. That changed my life. What is your next thought? When I feel the anxiety and anxious, or something comes to mind that I know that I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, okay, what is your next thought? All of a sudden my mind goes blank, and I literally have to create, oh yeah, what is the next thought? What am I going to think about now? And then my go-to is, all is well. All is well in my world. Out of every situation, every and only good will come. Everything is working out for my highest good. I am always safe. So that little sentence that I take a break to say, what is my next thought, triggers my 5 daily keep it together motto, which is, all is well in my world. Out of every situation, only good will come. Everything is always happening for my highest good. I am always safe. And if I'm really feeling that I'm like, everything's always working out for me and my highest good and I'm always safe, that's like the 5th one. And that usually right there redirects me. So those are my tips, and you'll see it works. It takes practice, because the mind, and can you imagine if our mind used more than 10%? We're only using 10% of this little thing right here that drives us insane every day. So that will calm you down, and that will help. So fan, ceiling fan, the bell, I'll write that here. The Abraham Hicks, you'll find it on YouTube. It's a 60-second meditation. And it has a great little bell, and that's helpful.
Okay, perfect. And then put your sleep supplement in there one more time, because I think that I got the name of it, but I'm not positive. We do have to wrap up. I know lots of people have more questions. I have to take a kid to karate. So,
Are you on Instagram?
I am. I'll put that on there too. Hold on.
Thank you.
yes, I was gonna say, put in some of the ways that people can connect with you. I know we have some new people on here too, some people that may not be part of our Facebook group. So we do calls like this every single month. We try to bring in the very best experts or people that we know are just gonna help all of us to grow and learn from each other. So I will put our Facebook group in there. So if you want to join that, that way you can connect in with us.
You're talking to me?
Just for everybody. I think you're on the, yeah.
I'm already in that. Okay.
Yeah, you're in there. And then, perfect.
I was going to say one more thing, Brittany.
Yeah.
When we were talking about thyroid earlier tonight, Brittany knows that I was diagnosed with one of like the worst thyroid cases in the US. My TSH was 319. For people that know what that is. Yeah, my Hashimoto's, I think it was like 2400 and something. I don't remember, but it was in the 2400 range. Anyway, I did what Elizabeth did, and I said, or Linda, what am I going to do about this, right? Like all of the drugs and all of the surgeries aren't going to actually get to the root cause. So in this book here, the Everyday Essential Guidebook, I actually have the recipe for this. It's a little thyroid roller bottle. It's created from doTERRA oils. You can go buy all of them and make it yourself. I also just have it for sale on my website, The Natural Cure, but I literally just roll over my thyroid twice a day. And it supports your thyroid, and you can also add in basil for your adrenals. So anyway, but that's in the book there for people that just have oils and they're like, oh, I want to just make something that will also just help support health-wise. So
Would you put the basil over your adrenals or still on your thyroid?
I do both.
Okay. I have a lot of oils. So I'm like, oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, I do
What's the
both.
book, Jeanette? What's the book?
Was that Kristen talking, by the way? I didn't see who was talking, or was that Sammy?
Yummy.
Sammy. It's Everyday Essential Guidebook. So I don't know if you can see me. Can you see it there?
Yes.
Okay,
There we go. I got you both on
there we
there.
go. So it's this. This is just what I have it labeled as. So, anyway, but if you have a lot of oils, you probably have the oils to make this at home then. So,
Can you put the website also? Can you put your website in the chat?
my website, it's thenaturalcure.com.
Okay.
I did it for you.
Thank you. I'm like, I have in there, I also have a thyroid supplement, an adrenal supplement, only because these are issues that I've had to figure out how to conquer. So, yeah.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. You guys, really, we have loved having you on. Thank you so much. You guys grab really quick, take a screenshot of the chat so you can be able to access that information. Because it will go away when I end the meeting. But any other final words for us, Willeen?
I will post the Nat Prove It sleep in our group chat because I don't remember the full name, and I threw away the box and I just take the pills and have them set up by the bed in a certain way because there's 3 for the at night and 2 in the morning. So I'll post it in the group for everyone who's watching. I'm assuming everyone's most likely from the doTERRA group, so we'll post it in there a little bit later with a picture. I'll do it from my phone so I can send you a full little description.
Cool.
And anybody else, I put my phone number, you can text me, I put my Insta, I put my email, so you can just email me and I'll do the same thing. I'll screenshot it and send you the information if once you're interested, because it's Nat OS, but we have a lot of Nat OS stuff, so I want to make sure I'm giving the right information.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And so Willeen works, if any of you are in Brooklyn, right? Like she works there in New York. But she also does a lot of online consulting. So if you really resonate with her and you're like, I want to work more with her, that's my plug for you. So there you go.
Online since COVID than I do in person. I do my regular local clients in person, but most of everyone is online since 2020.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible now what we get to do, right?
Thank you so much. That was really great, Willeen. Really appreciate you doing this for us.
You're welcome. Somebody broke up. I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I said thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Oh my God, I just went and followed you on Instagram too. So,
Yes, I'll go in.
or I sent you a request anyway. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're so
I'll be
welcome.
doing that too. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Awesome.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you guys. Bye everybody.
Thank you.